Here we have the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V. This one comes in the EX trim level with all-wheel drive. The paint color is going to be crystal black, and then we have gray cloth interior. Our powertrain consists of a 190 horsepower, 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, made it to a CVT. And coming around to the front end here, love this all-new styling. LED daytime running lights along with LED headlamps. And getting that standard is a big, big plus for Honda, finally catching up with everybody. We get the gloss black grille here, looks really nice. And just really, really refreshed and refined look for the CR-V. And coming down to these wheels here, we do get the 18-inch aluminum wheels, which look really good, honestly. We get passive keyless entry on the front. Here we have the controls for our power mirrors. It's left side, right side. You can adjust using that there. Power door lock controls, rear window lock, and then we have power mirror controls with the front two being one-touch automatic up and down. Big cup holder there, little storage pocket there. Traction control. And here we have our power driver seat with power lumbar support. And before we check out the rear legroom, let's go ahead and take a look at this window sticker. All of your standard features. And I really just like how Honda has always been, you kind of have the EX and EXL trim levels, and most of the stuff that comes on there is standard. So I mean, you get standard lane keeping assist, standard power moonroof. Just really nice. You don't have to add up options and then you're paying $40,000. Really like they did the pocket there, having the big bottle holder there, storage there. And there's the rear seat. Let's go ahead and hop in. Now I will say I have the seat back just a little bit than I normally do, but I really like how being 6'3" and having the seat in front of me adjusts for someone of my size. And with my longer legs, I'm able to sit back here comfortably. And my knees just barely touching the back, and what makes it so easy to actually be okay with is how the seat is made, and right where my knees would go, it's like a little soft area there. But I really don't even need to go in the seat from where it's skinnier right there, if that makes sense. So just a good job with the seat design. Rear AC vents are here. It's a view of the front. Middle seat folds down. Cup holders there. You get the premium dome lights there. And then we do have rear seat pocket there on the right side. But let's make our way to the back. Fuel filler here. We've gone capless, which is nice. And then as we come around to the back end here, love this all new back end with the LED taillights. It looks really, really premium and really ahead of its time. And then plenty of cargo space behind the second row here. We do have a 12 volt. And this has all the floor mats and everything in here, and the cargo mat's actually right in there. And then you can pull this up, and your spares here as well. And there's the jack. I just did a hybrid, and where the hybrid battery goes there, you don't get a spare on that. And then there's our dual exhaust there, if you can see it. One pipe, two pipes. But coming back to the rear seat, let's just go ahead and fold this down so we can check out how they fold flat. You just pull up here, and the seat belts are in the way, so I'm gonna unbuckle that. And then pull down here, folds flat, you get all that additional space. And then you can just fold it back up, really easy to do. And then if you need to fold it back further, it's very adjustable. You can get all the way back there compared to that there. And then here we have our 4-way manual passenger seat. Then we have a lockable glove compartment here. Owner's manuals are in there. Decent size, but love, and I've said this for every review today that I've been at Honda, love how they integrated the vents there. It looks really, really nice. And I just really like how Honda has come hard with the redesigns. And I've been saying this all day, like everything just looks so ahead of its time compared to all the 22 models. specifically with just the exterior looks. Let's go ahead and pop the hood here. There's that 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Let's make our way inside here. So we get a vinyl wrap steering wheel. Still love the design there. Doesn't feel as good as the leather, but it's okay. I go into the radio here. Really easy to maneuver. Just hit your media button there. You can go between USB and Bluetooth. So that's where you can run your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. You do have your AM and FM radio, which you can toggle there. You can hook up the Bluetooth phone there. And I love how it's always asking you, would you like to add your phone there? And then same thing for your connections with your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Just quick shortcuts for everything. Toggle your audio here, volume. You can go through your actual, depending on what you're in, this can be used as a scroll bar, or you can use a touch screen. So when I go to this menu here, I can do that. That's how I set up connecting new device, or I can go in there and scroll through and not have to ever touch the touchscreen. I think a lot of people take that for granted, but a lot of people don't like using the touchscreen. Me personally, it's just easier, but a lot of people like having buttons and knobs. You can actually do the same thing that you could do with the touchscreen with the knobs and the buttons as well. So very impressed by that. Backup camera, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel, and of course we have 3 views for that. There's a wide angle, narrow angle, and then we have basically the trailer hitch view. Hazards are down here. We can adjust the vents up, down, side to side. And then we do have dual zone automatic climate controls as well. So fan speed here, we can cut the fan on and off, adjust temperature for either side, and we can sync, and we can put the auto mode on there. 3-stage heated seats for the driver, front passenger, and I just love how all this is laid out. It just all makes sense. And it's just really easy to use right off the bat. You don't have to teach yourself how to use your HVAC controls. And then you have your rear defroster along with your heated mirrors. You can toggle that there. Air circulation there, front defrost there, AC there. And I love how, like, when it's on and it's been on for a minute, that'll go away. But then when you turn it back on, you're able to tell when it's on and when it's off. So it's just smart how they did that too. USB-A input, USB-C input there, 12 volt. Tons of storage in this little pocket here. And then for the shifter, hold the brake, hit the lever, reverse, neutral drive. There's your sport mode there. There's your low gear there. And then you do have your econ, snow, and normal mode with an actual lever. So it's been hard to keep up today because some of the vehicles don't have this. Others do have it with the sport mode. And then this one in particular, sport mode's here, but I still have my drive modes here. And then we can toggle our auto stop here, downhill brake control here, electronic parking brake, press down to disengage while your foot's on the brake, and then you can just pull up to engage it. Automatic brake hold. Cup holders there, a little storage pocket there. I like how they did that. Generous center console cubby space. There's supposed to be a removable tray there, it might be in the back. And then power sunroof comes, or power moonroof comes standard. I like that we can one-touch tilt it, open and shut instead of having to hold for tilt, and then I can slide it one touch back and then shut it one touch as well. So I've seen some $80,000, $90,000 vehicles that don't do that with a sunroof, so very impressed. Premium dome lights up front. That's how we can set the lights there. That's the door, that's off, and that was on. Sunglasses holder there. Manual sunshade. There's a view of the back seat from up here. And I love the two-tone. Now that I'm looking at it, like all the dash is black. The actual seats, the inserts are gray, and then like that middle seat there is black. That just looks really, really cool. And over here, volume controls, track list or radio station presets control there. And then we can go through our sources, whether it's AM, FM, or the Bluetooth or CarPlay, Android Auto, whatever. Just toggle that there. Home button for the left side of the gauge cluster, and we can use a scroll bar to go through that. And I'm going to leave it on the all-wheel drive torque distribution so we can check that out while driving. And voice recognition control here. Adaptive cruise there. We can set all that. Lane keeping assist system. Gap adjust for the cruise. We can cancel everything there. Headlamp controls are here. Auto mode, auto high beams, regular high beams. We can flash there. And then intermittent, low, high, one-time windshield wipers. We can adjust the intermittent here. Then the rear wipers here, intermittent on, and then either this way or this way is rear fluid, and then pull up here for front fluid. And there's our push button start. Finally, here's our key fob, and we do get remote start. But now let's go ahead and take this 2023 Honda CR-V EX out on the road for a quick test drive. So starting out the drive in the CR-V, I said this when I did the CR-V hybrid, really just like how easy it is to drive this kind of vehicle. I feel like I have a ton of space in here for what I'm driving, and I don't have any issue driving this down the road, especially where the lanes here are really small. There are vehicles all around me, and I'm not struggling to stay away from them. Now I do have a lack of, I think, upfront torque when I put my foot down as opposed to the hybrid, because you do get the help of those electric motors. But overall, specifically in this all-wheel drive, you get a really linear power curve, even with the turbo. Everything just makes sense. And the turbo actually does its thing very easily. I'll show you coming out of this corner. And keep in mind, I'm just in the normal mode now. So really like how it's very easy to drive, and you do have enough power to keep up with everyone else. It's in a race car, but it does the job, and it does it pretty well. I'm gonna put it in the sport now. Give myself a little bit of space. No one's behind me, and the other driver's far ahead of me. We're just gonna give it some pull up this hill here. So it does get a little bit raspy, but it gets the job done. The turbo, you can really feel it pushing when you put your foot down here in that sweet spot. And another plus of all-wheel drive is just how much more easily you can grip going through corners like that. Pretty nimble in that aspect. And the sport mode is just fun, really. I mean, I wouldn't race anybody in this thing, but it's fun to have. And there's the auto stop that just came on there. Let's see if we can keep up with this Ram in normal mode. Yeah, so the turbo engine, for this large of a vehicle, I feel like it does a really good job, even comparatively to the 1.5 that you get in the Chevy Equinox, which would be a direct competitor. This one feels a little bit better to me. And of course, having different drive modes helps, because I don't think you get that option in an Equinox. And then the Ford Escape, you can get a faster engine, but this just makes a lot more sense compared to everything else. And of course, you have the RAV4, which I haven't driven one of those in a couple of years, because ever since the pandemic, I shouldn't say the pandemic, the chip shortage, you can't find any of those anywhere. Trust me, I've been looking. As soon as they hit the lot, people are buying them. But don't know how that powertrain is holding up. This does that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder if they've gone to turbos. I'm going to assume they still have the naturally aspirated engine, seeing as the Camry still does. But this just seems to be one of the better options now. Of course, you get the 1.6 turbo, I believe, in the Sportage, which is something else been selling since they redesigned it. You can't find any. But I'm going to try and get one of those next couple of weeks. But just really good pull here with the all-wheel drive. And I can feel that all four wheels are doing their thing, as opposed to just everything coming from the front. But of course, the all-wheel drive is mostly meant for your snow and ice conditions. So it's really nice that you do have a snow mode. But really comfortable driving here. As it gets windier and I need to turn the lane keep assist on, I've been complaining about that all day and I did it again. You assume that everything's on at the same time, but it's not. But the ride quality is really good. It drives, handles really well, even passing this bigger truck here, not getting blown all over the place. And just a really good driving experience coming down the interstate. And the brake pedal feels really good. Feels a lot more linear than the CR-V Hybrid I drove, but that CR-V Hybrid braking felt really good too. This just feels like a Honda CR-V should drive. So direct competitors to the CR-V, you're gonna have your Hyundai Tucson, you're gonna have the Kia Sportage, the Chevy Equinox, the Ford Escape, and then the Nissan Rogue. And to me, powertrain falls right in the middle of that. Now, of course, the inline Tucson, you get that turbo engine that is absolutely incredible. And then a few other powertrain options. Well, I should say you get more powertrain options in some of the other competitors. Now the Equinox, you only get the 1.5 turbo as well, and I don't even think they offer a hybrid there. And I think they might have axed the 2-liter turbo. At least I have not seen one. So in this market, in this segment, the CR-V is definitely, it has a better track record at reliability. It's been around longer than, let's say, the Equinox, the Rogue. But still, Honda's done a good job at keeping up with everything that has been going on in terms of technology, in terms of the exterior looks, and then just in terms of the powertrain. So definitely one of my top 3 options in this segment. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V in the EX trim level.